My name is Laura Lawson Tucker, and I'm the director of Theater Adventure Program of New England Youth Theater, and run this program with Darlene Jensen, who's also director. We are in our 7th year. We are a mixed abilities program, which means we have people with disabilities, people without disabilities, but our focus is really abilities. The film that we just saw, For Once in My Life, a really wonderful film about a band, the Goodwill Band in Miami, Florida. And it's a band that the band leader has worked with this group, many of the people in the group, for 12 years. Each time I've seen it now, I'm speechless. I end up just feeling wowed. So I had ideas, but I thought maybe we should just start with you.
Laura, before we jump in, would you mind just telling us very briefly why you're here leading this discussion?
Okay.
What your connection is to the...
Thank you. Well, my connection is partially Kachina, who's right here, one of the students of... Kachina, you want to stand up? Kachina, who's... Kachina, who's a student that I work with at Theater Adventure Program at New England Youth Theater. And Kachina is a student, an actor and musician in the adult troupe. We have 3 troupes, 2 youth troupes, 1 adult troupe, right here at New England Youth Theater. Belva works with someone who's in the adult troupe. Lisa works with someone in the adult troupe.
Queen of Hearts! Queen of Hearts!
Queen of Hearts! We have a show coming up, and you are Queen of Hearts, and it's called The Topsy-Turvy Tale, and it's an original show we're creating, and that's in March. So we have this very exciting theater program, and that's why I'm here. And our theater program is mixed abilities, and the purpose to our program really is to help the community recognize all of the abilities of people of our community that might have challenges at first glance, but actually they're people with tremendous abilities. And theater, as well as music, we say theater arts because we do a lot with music too, but the arts are, and we're surrounded by it, we believe this powerful vehicle means to, it sounds trite, but I'll say it, give people a voice, but beyond that, help lift people up. But also, we believe the arts bring people together. And so bringing people together to see a theater show, and not just that we're all sharing the same experience, but here on this stage, it becomes, we believe, a level playing field. So everyone on that stage, they have an important role. They have an important part in creating the show. Just as we believe in our community, everyone has an important part, has an important role. So we like to think this connection between audience and actor can become a laboratory, so to speak, or a springboard for helping that happen more often out in the community, that we all have an important role. So that's me. But now, let's talk about here. And Darlene and I spent a long time talking about the film, but I really think I'm just going to hand it out to all of you folks. And does anyone have a response? Anything you want to say? Katrina, did you want to say something about the movie?
What did you like about the movie?
Movie was so beautiful.
The movie was beautiful?
The movie was beautiful, yes. And I know Katrina is quite an accomplished musician herself and very musical. So I knew you'd love this movie because the music is so powerful.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
Band.
You liked
The band, yeah. They were good, Katrina, weren't they? Really good. Yeah, really good. Anyone else? Yes.
I've been in this for 23 years, working with special needs. And I think that's a very powerful. You know, I've always believed that they can do more than what we think they can. And it just shows. And also with the New England Youth Theater, I think you remind me of the director because you've done a lot with these kids. I've seen them come into your program, and what they do now, it's just astronomical. You bring out the best of them. You really do.
Thank you. Well, I think it's a big team effort. Thank you,
It
Belva.
is, it is.
And Belva has the role, which we didn't see much of here in this context, but support people. And so we have a lot of support people in our program. And I was actually really impressed in the movie that there were there any support people in the music room? I
didn't notice.
At the last minute, there's the person standing behind the woman with the bongos.
Okay, all right. Yes, right, in the show.
Happened to fall into it.
Right, right. We say it over and over in the theater program, it's a team, truly a team effort to lift everyone up. But what I'm struck with here that I found really powerful is the fellow who started Goodwill Industries and his vision that there is a way to give meaningful employment to folks with various challenges. And so that was the context. I think it was more powerful for me, the context of an environment giving meaningful employment to people with disabilities, and within that context, the value of music. So it wasn't just this little extra over here, over a 12-year span. Here are these awesome musicians. Did you see there was the dedication to, was it 54 million or whatever it was, but it was also, I think earlier it said that their mission or their strong value is to help everyone, give everyone the opportunity so they can reach their full potential. And I think through music, that was one way they're doing that, but through work also. I mean, look at the woman who lives with her sister and brother, and she's the breadwinner. I mean, they probably have some public assistance, but that's pretty powerful. Yes?
Yeah, it's a wonderful movie, but one of the things that impressed me about it was the friendships and the way that the music, doing something together, gave a context to all of the people to support one another. And I have a son who's very dyslexic and can't read printed material, and when he got involved with New England Youth Theater years ago, in his first role that was big, he had to learn lines, and everybody in the group, all the other youth actors, got together and taped the entire script with little blank places for him to say his lines to assist him in learning. And you know, you just see that it provides the arts provide a context for friendships to grow, and that's so important. I mean, we all need friends, and so that was really wonderful to see.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Someone else.
It looked like there was some chance of physical violence of the group, and you could see how well they handled that. You asked about support people. Somehow, right there was some. He helped get other people to help that idea that he must have done something physical or whatever.
Hit somebody. I think he hit somebody.
Yeah. So you could see that they weren't just dealing. Were also dealing with people who are violent.
Yeah.
Who can be.
Or don't have self-control and all that,
Yeah, anger, whatever.
And they have their systems in place where it's not tolerated.
Right.
And out they get booted. You know,
He said, "Are you going to suspend me?" I thought that was something probably from his schooling.
Well, I think they use that language there. I think they use that because they understand it.
Okay.
You get suspended, you're out.
Yeah.
And then once they are out, they know they don't have the job, but also music, which they love. So it's a strong motivation to be appropriate in your behavior. But you could tell it was hard for him. He was described as being very hyperactive. His father described him when he was little as being very hyperactive. So I'm imagining self-control is really hard for him. But you're right, there was...
He came along when he was really excited at the concert.
Yes.
There was another little bit of that with him too.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I, like you, was very moved by the founder of the whole thing, that he had come from Cuba, which is its own country with its own share of problems and challenges, and so he came there and created this industry. I mean, it could have been, and for people with disabilities, and then I wondered if they had other things within that, like actual art, like hands-on art,
right.
Because that's also a very amazing medium for people with disabilities.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on this. And also everyone understood that big performance was after 12 years of work. And what I loved was how they ended it, where there he was starting, the leader was starting with that woman, clearly, very beginning singer. And that was so inspiring because it was showing the beginning, like it doesn't end. And whoever wants to be in the band can be in the band. You don't need to audition to be in the band. And he was just starting right there to help her learn how to sing on pitch. But 12 years. For them to get to where they got, that was 12 years of work. And that just goes back to how I guess that was partly what it was moving me to tears, was that we can say things, but do we really mean them? And that expression of help give someone an opportunity so they can reach their full potential. Well, you know, okay, yeah, we can do that. That's all fine and good, but they're doing it. I mean, working for 12 years, you know, with a group of people to get to that, that's living that mission, or whatever you want to call it, yeah.
And also how lucky we are here in Brattleboro to have you guys and New England Youth Theater and other programs.
And other programs
also.
too, yeah, thank you.
We're doing it, we're living it right here.
And I would say that there's certainly there's New England Youth Theater with Theater Adventure Program, and Brattleboro Music Center Music Adventure Program, which we helped to start there, that I'm proud to say is fully on their own as of today. They started their new semester, 3.5 year, I think. They're in their 3.5 year. Darlene and I have been there for every class, sort of shepherding them. And this was the first class. BMC has fully owned it. And Kristen Carmichael Bowers and Russ Horton, the two musicians who are the leaders, were doing a fabulous job. So if anyone interested, I just brought the little card there about Music Adventure Program and also Theater Adventure. But yes, we do have a community that cares about the arts. And look with all this cool stuff happening here. But I think caring about our community members. So it's all of that. And takes energy, takes time, takes money. Right, Danny? Yeah, sure.
Well, for me, as a member of this audience, observing this movie and enjoying it, and also having seen a number of the Theater Adventure programs and performances, for me, and I have spoken with other people who realize the same thing, that as you live your life as a member of the audience observing the performance, the disabilities dissolve and disappear. And you're really caught up in the performance or the capabilities, and you're not thinking of the performers as individuals living with a particular disability. They're just performing.
Right.
And it's amazing to me that that's one of the powerful things, I think, that an audience can experience.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Ron. And I think that the fact that we as a community are moving in that direction, where the idea is people first language, so not disabled person, but a person with a disability, or the worst is like wheelchair bound, which is the worst. Because anyone who uses a wheelchair would say they're liberated with their chair, but you would say a person who uses a wheelchair. So, we recognize people first. Challenges then, after that. We don't ignore the challenges, but, person first. And language is the first place to start that. And I agree with you. And again, I think that's the power of the arts, is that it's expression of self, and it's there for everybody.
When they brought the grammar school kids in, I was really impressed that it wasn't just talent, it was passion that was coming out, and so the grammar school kids really got into it.
It was beautiful.
Ice was broken.
Because you saw them in the beginning looking really tentative and staring and uncomfortable. And by the end, the boys that had their arms around each other, that was beautiful. Yeah.
And one of the things that came to my mind as I saw this beautiful thing happening, I have a sister who's internally handicapped, and my daughter she has albinism and has limited vision. But the thing that struck me is how can you bring this kind of thing to more communities? Brattleboro is obviously an exceptional community in that regard. We're brand new here, so we're not totally familiar, but we understand that is so. And listening to this about the youth theater sounds like it's a fantastic program. But you know, how can we get these things out to other places? I know it's about money and resources, but if that could only be spread around more, it would just be a wonderful thing, because I think these people are getting to live, they truly are getting to live their potential, and they're also living for something that gives them so much self-worth.
Which all of us need.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of us need to feel a sense of self-worth. It's a great question, and what I would like to invite all of us to think about is no matter where we are, if we're visiting somewhere or with relatives or whatever, we can be ambassadors and role models for treating everyone equally and fairly, and planting seeds for that. It's just a small little response, but I mean, that's a little way to start.
I wasn't expecting that you were going to have the answer.
Yes, I know, that's right. But I'm just trying to save the world. So. But anyway, yes.
Well, the same thing happens with the elderly also, and they kind of get shoved aside, and we're lucky in this community to have a lot of people who do caregiving, private caregiving with the elderly, and even like at Thompson House, there's an incredible activity program there with Sandy Ware, who sees all the people who live there as people and does amazing things with them. And it's and there is a group, there's a film, I don't know if the Women's Film Festival showed it or if I saw it on TV with Independent Ones, about the elder group that dances and sings and they go all around.
Excellent.
Yeah, are you talking about the one in Northampton?
Yes.
The Heart, the
Young at Heart.
Young at Heart,
Yeah.
That's a great film. If you haven't seen it, it's about a chorus, elderly folks, and it was on NPR when it was big a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they travel all around the world.
Yeah, they travel all around the world.
Yeah, many of them have their own disabilities also.
Yeah.
There's also a film about Judith Scott, who I can't remember, in San Francisco, somewhere in California, a workshop for people to make art, people with disabilities. It's also an excellent film about her life. She's no longer alive.
I'll Google that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to what you brought up, though, because I do want to believe that on a very simple level, all of us can help. Maybe not on this grand scale, but we can help make a difference in helping people find their potential. Just by the way we talk to people. I mean, it can start in a very, very small, simple way. And the ripple effects they really happen. I really believe that. Anyone else? It's very inspiring, that's for sure.
Well, so are you, Laura. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Thank
being
you.
here tonight.
Thank you so much. Now my little commercial, all right? So bear with me. So here's my little commercial. So got many of these because it seemed really fitting, Music Adventure Program, just for your information. So the structure of both the theater and the music program is that it's for people with disabilities and people without disabilities. I call it mixed abilities. The majority have disabilities. And so even if you don't know anyone, you might know of someone who might know someone who would be interested. So these are to take. So please, before you leave. Music Adventure Program is an after-school program for people ages 7 on up. As I said, through BMC, Thursday afternoons, 3:45 to 5:30, and it's semester-based, so there'll be another one in fall, and starting in February in a year. That was that. Theater Venture, we have 2 shows this spring. We'll love you to come. First show, which you can go on the website, NEYT.org, and our first show this spring is the adult troupe that Kachina is part of and is Queen of Hearts in. And it's our second original show. Last spring we did a show called Raising Our Voices. And this show is titled Imagine That Our Stories Take Flight. right? We were practicing our rap today. Imagine that. Our stories take flight. And that's March 24th, 25th. And then in the first week of May, one of the youth troops is putting on our own adaptation of The Lion King, The Pride of the Lions. So that's May 4, 5. So if you go on the website, you get more information about that. But I'd love to have you there. We have all shows are interpreted ASL, and of course the theater is wheelchair accessible. So spread the word, everyone, about the power of the arts and accessibility.
Thank you for that commercial, and thanks again, Laura.
Yes, my pleasure. Okay, yes.
And thanks to all of you for coming.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you.